Yo, ladies and gentlemen, I would say boys and girls, but you know what I mean, too young to be listening to this to this podcast if you're a little girl, a little boy. But for boys and girls at heart and mind, those who identify as otherwise, welcome to the brand new. This is the first episode of the Life Be Lifing podcast.
Hey. Oh, burr, 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 burr.
I love it.
Right. For those of you who were fans and listeners of the Two Kings 215 podcast, I ain't going to spill all the beans, but we had a little host shake up, you know what I mean? A little change of things, changing of the guard, as they say. And my man decided that he's going to help with the podcast from behind the mic and behind the scenes. And Big Meesh is stepping up to the plate as the new full-time co-host along with me.
Yellow.
So we couldn't call it Two Kings no more. You know what I mean?
I mean, I got sometimes I got that big dick energy going on over here.
This pause. I
mean,
don't rock with big dick energy from women. I'm cool. I like queen energy.
Wow.
I'll take boss babe energy.
Oh, boss babe, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't really think I'm a boss though.
I'll take all that. You know what I mean? I'll take Viking energy, but big dick energy, you know what I mean?
Sounds discriminatory.
It does. Like and my grandmother said that women have dicks, they're just not as big. So
okay, grandma. And grandmas aren't wrong. So
they're never wrong. So she told me it was cool. Listen,
I'm silently hold my opinion on that out of respect. You know what I mean?
All right.
But again, you know what I mean? Meesh ain't new to this. She's true to this. Y'all heard her on multiple episodes on the Two Kings 215 podcast. So it was only natural that if I'm going to bring anybody else, to step up after my brother, I bring my sister on. Family affair,
Yeah,
I like it.
And for the first episode, we've been blessed to be blessed with one of the most arrogant,
oh,
wow. Okay.
Really?
Personality, a very intelligent woman, very well spoken. She is rude.
Wow.
But that's cool.
I'm working on that. It's not through with me yet.
I think that's all subjective now.
Thank you.
She knows she's rude and she's perfectly fine with it. But I'm also perfectly fine with it because I don't roll with perfect people. I'm not perfect. And them not going to work out. You feel me?
I'm a Taurus, and they say we some of the rudest on the face of the earth. So I'm nice to you.
You mean?
I'm a Leo, so I think that just
listen. My best friend and my dad are Leos, and y'all can.
You are so blessed. Look at your life. Oh my God!
I know all about y'all. Oh, and my little bro is a Leo too. So
wow. Surrounded by
y'all get real ratchet with it sometimes.
Oh my, no, never, yes. Not me.
Yes, not me. Like, ooh.
See?
Little bipolar sometimes.
Oh no, we not. No.
But you seem cool though. So I'm not gonna put that on you. I'm talking about them.
She always seemed cool at first, but she got some stuff in the pocket, man. She's versatile. You know what I'm saying? 1 minute, really child of God. Next minute, y'all might want to box. But you know what? What I love about her is that she's versatile, man. She's anything she needs to be and everything she needs to be at the right time.
Little Sour Patch
and that's
Kid.
what really matters is when the time, you know what I mean? When the time comes forward.
Right, little Sour Patch Kid. First she sour, then she sweet.
My fiance calls me that, but we're not going to get into that.
Ooh, sweet. Look at you hitting from long distance.
All the time. Like daily.
He love you though. That's all that matters. So
facts. And I got mad respect for it too. So that's why I was, hyped to have her be the first, have her christen the podcast. You know what I mean? We got Rita. Which one is it? Let me make sure I got it right. I ain't trying to say it wrong.
Really Rita
from the Problematic Podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Problematic Podcast. If you haven't listened to Really Rita and her co-host Whitney on the Problematic Podcast, you're tripping and you're slipping. I'll make sure to post the link so y'all can catch up and get in order, okay?
Check us out.
Going on over there. They're in season 2 right now.
We
I
are.
mean, they got all types of energy. Okay, they got the hot girl energy 1 minute. They got the auntie energy next minute.
Definitely.
They got the cleaning up on Sundays, the gospel energy. They listen.
Yes.
What I say, versatile, man, versatile.
They had me cracking up today when I was listening to Auntie Knees.
Listen, it's real. It's real. At some point, you got to transition from the hot girl summers to the auntie energy,
and that's fall down falls.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that is definitely, we are in that transition period, and we know we're not alone. So yeah, it is truly a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for sliding through. And the topic, ladies and gentlemen, I felt as though it would be fitting, being that this is International Women's Month, the anniversary of Title IX. And we really at a time right now where, it's a big deal. It's a big deal to have these conversations between women and men, not just men having a conversation with men, not just women having a conversation with women, but kind of like seeing what we could have in the middle so that some understanding could be met and benefit could be gained on both sides as far as, women athletes and the pay gap. So let's get right to these shits. First question I'm gonna ask to test the temperature. Listen, man, we do everything live. We don't do no scripts. Okay?
Nothing. I didn't get no notes before I hopped on. So this is the
come up
real
with a topic.
Deal.
I don't ask nobody what they finna say. Is you come on and you get
no censorship here.
This is off the cuff,
they ain't
ladies and
even
gentlemen.
prep for these questions. So the first question I got to test the temperature in the room: do you ladies believe that the WNBA players should be paid as much as NBA players? I'm gonna shut up. Starting with the guest.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm gonna let the guest go first.
I'll start. No, I don't believe they should be paid as much, but the caveat to that is I also don't believe that NBA players should be making as much as they make. Some of those contracts are they're astronomical. They are ridiculous. No, I do not believe that women players need to be paid as much as the male players. However, I do believe that the WNBA players specifically are long overdue for some pay increases, long overdue. And we know it can be done financially, and it's just not being done. I don't feel like their collective bargaining is being fair. And making sure that these ladies get what they want, which is why they go and play overseas, because it's easy for them to, take their talents to a place where they are appreciated, and that appreciation is shown in the form of dollars. So no, I don't think the pay needs to be equal, but I definitely think it needs to be equitable when it comes to their contracts and how they're getting paid and the slice of their pies. It's like, come on now. I make more than the average WNBA player. That shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. It should not happen. It shouldn't be that way.
Look that up, because that might be the case for me too. That's
right.
That's a fact. That is a certified fact. I earn more than the average WNBA player. There's something wrong with that.
What's
79,000, I think, was for their last contract negotiation period. That's their average based on what their lowest they can be paid, and I think the highest they can make is $295,000. That's their cap. So yeah, average player making under 80 grand a year. Come on,
that's tough.
We can't do better than that. I ain't saying you got to pay them all LeBron numbers, but we can't do better than. I work in accounting numbers. Come on. I'm just saying. Am I wrong? I don't know. How y'all feel about it?
I mean,
by the way, slight flex, Miss Accountant with the slight flex on y'all.
I am not an accountant. I'm not an accountant.
I said working in accounting.
Oh, okay. I don't.
Get y'all with the slight flex. But keep it going. Meesh, it's on you.
So we've had multiple conversations about this, and where I stand. I do not think they should be paid as much as NBA players. Why? Not because they don't deserve it, but because where is that money going to come from? The WNBA does not bring in the same numbers as NBA. Right. And although I do feel like women are underpaid just because they're women, people also don't watch women's sports because it's women. So we have to really think about the backstory for why women aren't equally paid. And I mean, it goes deep. It runs really deep. Why, this whole women aren't paid equal across the board thing started. Because do I feel like women deserve to be paid as much as a man in some respects? Yes. But sports is not one of them, because athletics wise, athleticism, entertainment wise, women just don't do it. And it's funny because I was talking to the mom of the young lady I go watch play sports all the time last night. And, we were talking about her wanting to pursue WNBA. And, the conversation came up about it's just really no money in it, to be honest. Like, you really have to be a superstar for them to even want to pay you top dollar. And for you to tell me, Rita, the top dollar is $295K for all that you put your body through. Oh, that's crazy ridiculous to me.
Right.
And I play ball, and I'm just like, the stress on your body, and that's all you're gonna give me to entertain a bunch of people that really probably they're not at the games they really want to watch. They're probably bringing their daughter because she wants to be in the WNBA.
Right.
I mean, really, that's crazy to me. So no, I don't think that women in sports are ever going to be paid as much as a man because they cannot perform like men. But then it's like, I have this gripe about women being paid equally, period, for their experience. Now, if you out here beating LeBron on the court,
you need to be paid like you beating LeBron on the court.
But I need somebody to beat LeBron ass on the court for me to say you deserve these $1 billion, billion contracts. And that's not to say that it can't happen, but logistically, that's not going to happen because people are not going to pay what they pay to see NBA players. So.
Right. They're not. But I do think on the flip side of that, like, I want to say this the right way.
Spit it
out.
I'll just spit it out. I do think it's interesting. Like, America is a very large country when you compare it to like a bunch of smaller European countries. And these European countries have been able to figure out how to pay women more, so much so that our players go over there in their off season to pay more. You mean to tell me all the brilliant minds in the United States in the NBA and in the WNBA haven't been able to come up with a way to pay these girls more? Because like off the top of my head, I can think of like 3 ways where you could probably pour more money into women athletics, specifically in basketball.
So yes, that's a perfect segue into what we're gonna get into. Perfect segue. And because you're already addressing it, I'm go ahead and be quiet again. And I'm going to let you get these 3 off right now. Please give us the 3.
All right. So I feel like European sports work better for women because they do clubs, meaning like you're not just a women's basketball team. You're the men's soccer team. You're the women's soccer team. It's a bunch of sports put into these clubs. And the money, which is coming from soccer, because that's the biggest sport internationally, is funneling down and supporting all these other sports, which means if you get an Adidas endorsement for your soccer team in this club, Adidas is floating everybody. Everybody's getting a piece of that pie. I don't understand why we aren't linking these WNBA teams to large markets in the NBA. For example, like in a perfect world, you got Golden State, which has a large market because you got Steph Curry and they win championships and all of that. They have a G League team. And why can't they just have a WNBA team, a G League team, and their NBA team, and they're sharing their resources? If you just take whoever, I don't know who owns Golden State, but if they are willing to spend an extra $2 million a year just to support the WNBA, $2 million means every woman on one single WNBA team doubles their salary. $2 million is nothing to a billionaire who owns a basketball team. Nothing. So why aren't we like aligning these sports? Like a lot of reason why these WNBA teams have failed before is like you get owners who are like, I'm going to buy a WNBA team. And then they don't make the money. Nobody else wants to buy it after you've proven that they failed. So then the team goes defunct. Why don't you just build those teams into the markets that are already there? Like you can't buy the Bulls unless you buy the WNBA and the G League team, because for most of the G League teams, those teams belong to the franchise, the NBA franchise. They come together. They aren't separated. So why aren't these teams being packaged like that? it doesn't take more money from the WNBA team. What's $2-3 million to a person who already can afford to own a NBA team? Then you're more invested in the success of the overall franchise and not just the women's part of it or the men's part of it or the G League team. Like, you're putting your money in to make sure you get a return on your G League players, your women players, and your elite NBA players. Why is that model not being used here? You can't tell me they can't afford it, because anybody who can afford an NBA team can afford to have a WNBA counterpart team.
I probably have an answer for you, but I'm just gonna hold that.
I know. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I would love to hear it.
Absolutely have an answer for it. But
well, let's hear
go
it.
now. Go now, because we've been talking our heads off. We would love to hear from you.
Y'all supposed to.
I'm trying to figure out, like.
So here's the answer to that question. It's being tried already. So when you look at, because that's you bring up a really good point. So when you look at the teams, like at one point you had New York Liberty, big market. New York is a big market. And you have the New York Knicks. No matter how terrible the Knicks are, year after year after year, no matter how many playoffs they make, they sell out games routinely. They're making money hand over fist. Right. So they kick money down. There's multiple NBA teams, including NBA teams who don't have a WNBA counterpart, right, kicking money down to the WNBA, because if the WNBA succeeds, it absolutely benefits the NBA.
Absolutely, for sure.
Partners, you get more money. Yeah. The problem is, even with the money getting kicked down, these owners are taking losses. So yeah, there's nothing to lose $3 million allegedly until you realize you're never making the $3 million back. So if for 4 straight years you lost $3 million,
the Knicks are doing it. But like I said, it's got to be in the right market, because the Knicks are doing that anyway. The Knicks are losing that money anyway. Like, I hear what you're saying. Nobody wants to take a loss, but the bigger part, or the more important part to me, is putting them in a market where they're going to be successful, because the money is going to be there anyway. Because you already have teams, WNBA teams, that have a solid enough fan base that these teams have been around for years. The league isn't that old, but their fan base is there. Link them up with people
Mercury.
Like you have. So these teams exist, but you're trying to make them standalone teams like WNBA, like NBA teams. And I don't think that's going to work. It takes money to run a team. You need to be selling these teams to people where money isn't really an issue. Like you said, the Knicks suck historically. They've always sucked. They spend money on blockbuster players, and then them players sit on the bench for 2 years. Like, your salary, literally, that one player sitting on the bench salary could have paid for a whole WNBA team.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So, yes, you're absolutely right with the club's idea, and that's what I was going to mention. If you didn't mention it as a potential solution to increase the WNBA players' money, absolutely. Club idea is a great idea. It's just that in certain cases it's going to work, and in other cases it's going to fail.
That's true.
I think that the success failure gap, even at best, is going to look bad when you have, like you said, the New York Liberty, you'll have the Phoenix Mercury, you'll have the LA Sparks. These are teams where their NBA counterparts are doing so well financially, they could afford to drop $5 million a year down and never see it.
Right.
Yeah.
The problem is that's not the case for every team in the league. Like, you'll have the Atlanta. And as much funding as they're getting from different sources,
they're still not bringing the money in. But let me say this, and like, I want to be clear. I don't think every team in the NBA. Say that again. I'm sorry.
I said I have an idea to help with that whole thing that I'll bring up later on.
I don't think every team should have a WNBA counterpart or like a club, but I think it's funny, and y'all can tell me if I'm just being sensitive. Not even making it a gender thing, but the G League look like it's running great, and y'all put your heads together and figured that out. Am I wrong? Like, that means a bunch of people got into a room and strategized this. This didn't pop up overnight. The G League is looking great right now.
But the reason it's looking great, because remember how struggling it used to look?
Yeah.
I'm about to say, they came a long way.
They've come a long way.
Look at the time of the WNBA's existence and you look at the time for the G League's existence, one of the big factors is young players, young, exciting athletes who you have no idea who they are. I'm gonna use a perfect example of a kid I actually met before and worked with, Derrick Jones Jr. People know him as airplane mode now. He done been in a couple of NBA dunk contests, right? But when he was in the first one, I'm all hype, I'm all over Facebook. Yeah, DJ, let's go, DJ. DJ, nah. Y'all don't remember him playing that Artificial Killer? He from Philly. Y'all don't. No, we don't know that nigga, bro. Like, cool. But he had to go to the G League to make his way to the league, right?
Right.
But that's how he made his way to the league. Those highlights, dunks. Let's just be honest. It was dunks.
It was dunks. Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, dunks get people watching women's games. Every time there's a dunk in the WNBA, you hear about it, you see it on SportsCenter. Every single time.
For a couple of months straight.
Right. Like,
and I think that's the way it should be, honestly. I absolutely think you should pump that.
Right.
I think and that goes to the point that I had that I was going to get into later about marketing, but I ain't going to get too much into it now because Meesh still got to go. But I think that's a perfect example as to why there's the difference, because the young WNBA players are coming from college. You're not allowed
but colleges have built-in fan bases, because I've watched more college basketball, especially during tournaments, than I've watched NBA games, because those college games are more accessible, especially during March, and they're more exciting.
Period. Like, I mean, and
it's more on the line with the one and done.
Yeah,
you feel me?
Yeah, I mean it is, but like,
how far for the casual? How far will somebody follow them after a highlight? Like, people, like I said, they saw Derrick Jones dunking all over everybody in the G League. People started to fan him. People started to follow him. Let him dunk. Let him dunk. They didn't know that his dribble was average to below average.
Suspect. Little suspect.
Averaging 5 rebounds, okay? They didn't care about any of that. They saw this ball flying all over the weird place, and they're sitting there screaming to the NBA, let him dunk. Let him dunk.
I mean,
who from college basketball gets to have access to that kind of fandom before their senior year? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, a lot of them build great stories by their senior year. Someone like Skylar Diggins, you know what I mean?
Who was huge, and I watched her entire college career and was excited when she got drafted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don Taurasi.
Right. Like
there are people out there.
It's not like it's
followed their entire college career. Trust you me.
But that's my point, though. It's not like
we're not following them in all the way into the casual.
Right.
All three of us love basketball, but we're talking about for the casual.
Right.
They stop once they get to the WNBA, because there's nothing else to latch on to as far as what that player brings to the game.
No, you're absolutely right about that. But I think I kind of have to. I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but it's never too late for a rebrand. Like, the G League wasn't always the G League that it is now. Like, you put the time, the attention, and the effort and the dollars into anything, and you hope that it grows like the G League did. So you mean to tell me all the brilliant people and billionaires in the world who are putting their money into the NBA and the G League can't come up with the same type of strategies to help these girls transition from their college fame to professional fame?
Yeah, but some rules have to change. And I'm gonna let Meesh go before I get into that.
And that's probably going to segue into what you're going to say, but they don't want to. That's the bottom line. They're not interested in being invested in growing the WNBA, because let's be clear, this is just my opinion and my opinion only, and someone may or may not agree with it, but they built up the WNBA to shut women the fuck up. That's what it is. Just like we could go all the way back. They allow women to work to shut them the fuck up, because they was like, oh, you, no offense, you bitches want to work, fine. We need the extra tax money anyway. And we can send your kids right on to school and doctor in their ass. Boom, there you go. They literally started the NBA to shut women up, because women can play ball too. We can play ball like men. We can do the same thing. I can dunk. Look at me. I can shoot a 3. Yeah, we don't really care. I mean, at the end of the day, you will never hear a man say, "I'll prefer to watch the WNBA over the NBA."
No, no,
And so, if
you're
they
never
just
gonna hear that.
invested their time into growing the WNBA the way they did the G League, because they definitely grew the G League, and if they just, I felt like if they made the WNBA just as important to the NBA players as it was
Right.
to the WNBA for the NBA players, it would be a different story. But let's just be honest, nobody cares about anything women got going on.
This is true, but that's why I feel like comparison is the worst thing when it comes to the WNBA. Listen, because you're expecting, and I feel like this is what people who buy these teams think, you're expecting this group of women, elite basketball players, to draw as much excitement from the people watching the NBA. That's not going to happen. Nope. That shouldn't be but that also should not be your target market, though. You shouldn't be targeting men who have plenty of NBA to watch. You need to find other people to watch this sport, and you got to make it interesting in other ways. If you're catering to young women or girls in high school who play athletics, or who are in athletics, or in college, like, you're taking all of this, you're putting all this money and stock into making men pay attention to women. And that, like, through the history since Adam, that has never worked. Men are not entertained when they have to pay attention to women. They hate it.
Except for one time.
Okay. That's okay.
That's the only time men want to pay attention to women. Now, it's crazy.
You gotta alter your target market. Like, you're playing into the wrong hands. The men who watch the NBA are not going to be as excited to watch the WNBA.
I mean, so let's be clear. We just talking basketball, right? No, let's go beyond that. Why do men watch the lingerie league? It ain't because they want to watch women play football.
It ain't the competitive spirit of athletics.
There you go. But
lingerie league, you was never set up for that.
The lingerie
Come
league,
on, that's not fair.
The lingerie league is very popular, and it's because men get to see women half-ass naked. The NBA, they do not get that.
Football, it could be lingerie golf. You'll get dudes to watch. You didn't care about the sport when you created it.
I just said that. They did not give a shit about women playing basketball from
right.
Jump.
But notice how they were able to get viewership up without making them love the sport. You mean to tell me you can't do that with women's basketball? You can't find another draw? You can't, like, give these girls modeling contracts outside of this? So, like, the men who are fans of them on Instagram and all of that stuff might peek in to see what she wore to the game, what her hair looked like, what she talking about. You know,
let's be clear. I literally be like, "Oh, Taya Cooper, she's so cute."
Did she just say what she wore and what her hair looked like? Rita, come on, you talking about men? I'm never going to tune into nothing to find out what
y'all sit and watch what Russell Westbrook wear to them damn Lakers games.
I was about to say, y'all be on the shoe cam
to clown him. That's what you want for women?
Y'all gonna let Russell Westbrook be a bad bitch, and y'all need to accept it, because that's what he is, and that's what he embodies, and y'all trying to disrespect that man.
Exactly why we clowning.
He is a bad bitch. He is.
LeBron Russell, on his way too. No offense.
He a grown man.
He got some badass bags, baby.
LeBron James has had some bad bitch days. I've seen them.
Yes, he has.
And that's my point. It's like they doing a lot. But
we clowning.
Y'all
don't want that for women to be the butt of the joke.
No.
Y'all don't want attention by any means.
Not by any means. Not by any means. But, like, how many times have...
Because he's the butt of every joke right now. He is the big. Russell Westbrook is the big like nobody else right now. Definitely in sports.
Nobody is.
Literally. Even people who don't know basketball see a clip of him and fry him.
And be like, that's the guy who can't shoot, right, babe? Yeah. Because,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, so women know him as the guy who can't shoot, even if they don't like basketball.
That's for women, but it's funny how you mentioned. Okay, so this is about to wrap up in about 10 minutes, so we'll start another one.
All right. Cool.
But it's funny how you mentioned things like the modeling contracts they have outside of sports, because there are certain women where that benefits them individually. It doesn't benefit the WNBA. It benefits those women individually. Cheyenne Parker is a great example. She got a whole friggin' swimsuit calendar type situation.
Right.
She got her own drink going, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She hasn't even played since she got pregnant. So, but she's winning individually. The problem is that doesn't feed back into the NBA because you're not going to sit here and watch a whole WNBA game because Shorty fine or because you saw some cheek hanging out, because it's not going to happen during the game.
Not some cheek hanging out.
That's
no, but there are other ways. Like, how many times I don't know how to score a tennis game.
You don't want a lingerie league.
No, you don't want a lingerie league. But how many times have you watched tennis because Serena was playing? Do you play tennis? Do you like
plenty of times?
You find ways to create catalysts.
But it's because she makes the sport look great. Most men
don't
looks fine the whole time. She's out there. That's not sexy.
She definitely is not sexy the entire time she's swinging that racket.
What's sexy about her is that she is kicking the ass.
But the hope is that
beat her. So that's what tennis has going for women. I'm gonna say soccer even has that going for women, that these women are kicking ass internationally.
So what did we say earlier?
To watch the women's soccer play.
What did we say earlier? It's exciting.
It is exciting. But
the WNBA is not exciting.
It has its moments. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't you do that. It does have its moments. Okay, so tell me this. What makes women's tournament basketball in college exciting? Is it the win or die aspect of it?
That's about it for me.
That's what makes college basketball exciting.
Period, across the board. Overall.
Across the board.
Men
it's
and
literally
women.
the same thing across men and women. You are playing for your life.
Yep.
There's nothing like seeing that shot going and knowing you won't see a team again for the rest of the year.
Yep. And it's it's not like that with the WNBA for some reason. It's like they got playoffs and whatnot, just like the WNBA and the NBA, but it's
but
not
playoffs is it.
Yeah.
Playoffs, I'll be honest.
And that's where the ratings spike every year.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I don't understand why this is the only time of year anybody cares about the WNBA, because they're literally playing their hearts out every time they step on them. Exactly.
But that's my point, is that there are ways to create the buzz or the excitement outside of these are women and they play basketball. Yeah. It's just got to be smart people in the room to try it and figure it out, because playoff women's basketball, I believe it can be done.
But like I said earlier, they just don't want to fucking do it. They don't want to do it.
Because it requires them to put money on the line.
No, because it's women. Like, I mean, let's just keep it a buck, because money is like, we done seen them lose tons of money over the years. Right. They've lost more for less. Okay. So investing in these women is really not going to hurt their pockets that much. They just don't even want to feel like, oh, we wasted our money for nothing. It's like, you can waste your money on anything else, but you're not going to waste your money on women playing basketball.
Because whoever paying Ben Simmons' salary is definitely could have sponsored 3 entire WNBAs.
And a whole village in Africa,
okay? The whole thing.
Wish they could get that back. He embarrassing. I think, honestly, on another subject, he's going to ruin contracts for people going forward.
Oh, absolutely. Collective bargaining is about to get real old school union again. Yeah. This man
about to get wrecked.
They should jump him. Because he's about to
jump him.
No, for real. He needed his teeth kicked in a while ago.
Yeah.
He about to fuck up some money for a lot of people who ain't get to touch it yet.
Right. And we're not talking about Ben Simmons. We're
not
talking about women.
That's another story.
Another story for another day.
We got like about 2 more minutes left, so I'm gonna save getting into the meat of the point that I have as far as how y'all both say there's ways it can be done. I actually agree with both of you, and I actually have a couple of ideas.
I'm excited to hear this.
Love to hear this.
We are going to wrap this session early so it don't cut off on us in the middle of the conversation, and then we're gonna start another one and come right back, folks. It's just gonna be intermission for y'all. You know what I mean? We'll do the editing thing later on. But
so it looks like I get an hour now, because I feel like we started this. I feel like we started this at around 7:40 or so, and we let it keep going. So it looks like I get an hour on this end. And it did send me something to upgrade. So we'll talk about that if we want to do it this way going forward. So.
Got you. All right, folks, we will be right back. Stay tuned. It's already good. It's not getting good. It's already good. It's going to get better. Promise you. We bike. All right, so where we left off in this scintillating and stimulating mentally conversation, we were talking about, basically, we had the lady saying that, things could be done to help the WNBA players be more visible, become more exciting, make more bread. But men don't give a fuck about women, so that's why it ain't happening. I get to be the counter on this, where it's partially true, in my opinion. I get where they're coming from. But I also disagree, and I'm gonna go back to why I disagree, to a point that my good sister made earlier when she said that the WNBA was created to shut women up. No, it was created because men, more than anything, want to profit off of everything. That's why. Because you could have just let the women continue to play in Europe, and they can actually by now would have been getting paid real well.
But what did I say earlier?
The clubs already exist, but men saw that scratch happening over there for women, and it was like, we want it.
And I said that. I said they wanted women to shut up, but they also wanted to make money off them. Same reason why they let women go to work.
But the only women who demanded it was the women who was playing. You had Title IX, which allowed women to play college ball. That was to get women to shut up. That's why I said I agree with you, but there's another part to it. That's what Title IX was for, to get the women to shut up. The WNBA was to profit off the women now, because we see y'all over there. Every time the Olympics come up, y'all dominate. Now y'all actually
killing them.
Yep.
The Cheryl Swoops, the Lisa Leslies, Thompson, Coop, all them cooking every Olympics, and they're like, damn, we made some money off the dream team. We can't make no money off these broads.
Listen, that's what I said. That's why I let women go to work. We can let y'all work, and we get y'all
we gonna get some
labor,
income tax money,
and we gonna tax y'all dollars. It's the same difference.
American men don't love nothing more than
money.
Cheap labor.
Yep, and money. Okay.
Nothing more.
So yeah.
Nothing more. Not even yams. You hear me?
Not even. Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
That might be true.
That is it. I'm not going to disagree with you. That's rare.
Founded on facts. I'm counting this one. This is in the books. So
I mean, the Rockefellers started that shit. It's definitely in the books. They are the reason why women went to work. Okay.
Listen. And I have a lot of beef with that, but that's not this podcast.
So we be all day talk about equal pay.
One of the things that I think is the problem, where the women are right in terms of the NBA could kind of step things up, and even Rita, how she keeps mentioning the brilliant minds. Yeah, I think that somebody is dropping the ball as far as marketing. I think that's the biggest issue. It's funny, I even talked this over with my younger niece, and she keeps saying the same thing, marketing. I'm like, you know what, you're right. That's really it, because as I used the Derrick Jones example before, what he did marketed itself. But since women aren't doing the most exciting play in basketball, who's to say that women's basketball can't be exciting?
Right.
What is the other things that's in basketball that's exciting? Dunks ain't the only thing that make basketball exciting, because you have basketball players that's not known for dunking that are very exciting. Kyrie Irving.
Right.
You can't even count how many dunks you see from him on two hands per year.
Right.
But he is known for saucing everybody.
Embarrassing them. Embarrassment brings fans.
His finishes, that's his best move. Like if he was a video game, his finishing move is a layup.
That's crazy. This man then made layups hot. That's insane.
He made the layup popular. When you make the goddamn shot.
Right. The fundamental of fundamentals. Right.
There are teenagers out here literally doing these drills to know how to do a layup like how he does a layup.
When I watch these girls play for Mackenzie's team, I'll be like, oh, they laying up all day. That's what's easy for them. Like, I mean, going straight to the basket, laid up. I'm like, Yeah, back in the day, we was all on the outside. We was putting them up from the outside. Like, they don't do that. They don't do that. They going straight in.
Exactly.
I mean, it's crazy because, you know, culture definitely impacts. There's culture in sports that impacts like the next generation. Like you look at the Steph Currys, the Kyries, who's the guy? Oh my God, James Harden, like all of these players who have these insane handles, right? That's all because they watched Allen Iverson and like Bibby's, like the players they watched became like the culture of what it is today. Even you watch kids on like the playground now, all these kids are shooting half court shots. That obviously comes from the culture of the 3-point being huge now. I think it's interesting, like the videos of girls high school, but I've seen more high school girls dunk in videos over the last 2 years than I've ever witnessed in my life. They come up on Facebook, like people are sharing this. Women's basketball is absolutely changing. I ain't never been able to dunk. I literally saw a 5'10" girl in a video like a week ago dunking in a high school game. So we need to swing some attention, because I do believe just like culture impacted men's basketball, I'm pretty sure it's impacting women's too. We don't have eyes on it right now. Like, I love to see a girl get crossed over. There needs to be highlight reels of that so people go, damn, the girls is out there playing like that, because women's basketball today does not look like it did 5 years ago. Like the NBA doesn't look like it did 5, 6, 7 years ago. But there's got to be a way to spotlight that. And like Nirie said, it's got to be like the marketing has to change. Like,
and
it has to.
One of the things we were talking about when Risa and I were having this conversation a few weeks back was these kids, now that you're getting paid to play, like in the NCAA, it's all about making yourself a brand. So if you make yourself a brand and you put yourself out there, you make yourself popular, then what were we talking about earlier? No one follows you from college to the big league. Well, if you brand yourself, because I'm telling them, you think about Taya Cooper, right? Like, she's one of my favorite to watch. And it's not just because of basketball. She's entertaining on the internet. Like,
I follow her on Instagram.
Exactly. She's one of the few, right? I'd be like, oh, her little TikToks is cute. I ain't even on TikTok, but I watch her damn TikTok. She's funny. She dancing in the locker room with her team, so now everybody knows who her teammates are. That's a branding and marketing thing. And I feel like if they don't take that into their own hands and show these big wigs and these execs and these people with the dollars, I can make y'all some money, but y'all gotta want to give me some money first.
Because she just one of
she has a Jumpman Jordan deal.
Yeah, I just saw that. I saw that today.
She's a female. Like, that's rare.
Crazy.
That's rare.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, okay, you think about Roy Jones as a boxer that was with Jordan Brand, right? You know, that's crazy. No, a female being on that team and being highly publicized for it. So it can be done. It's just like women are going to have to start forcing their hands on all of this. And if they don't do that, then they're going to keep treating them like fucking second-class citizens of sports.
You're right. And it's got to be like, from the marketing perspective, we got to show, I say we as in women, because I don't play.
We have to show interest.
I'm old. I
don't play no more. Oh, well over.
Right.
Like,
but I'll say this, like, we got to show the people who can, mostly men, the people who can afford to have these teams or like loop these teams in with their existing brands. Like, you can make money here, because one thing that's definitely going to keep the league from expanding and spending a lot of money on players is you look at the track record for teams that had WNBA teams and then went out of business. I don't want to put millions of dollars in something that historically has been failing. So like you said, you got to find the other ways to bring the money in. Like, damn, this girl got 3 million followers. If we put her on our team and we find ways to push sneakers to those people, and maybe they'll watch a little basketball, like, your money's coming in different ways. That is definitely an approach. Yeah, because these kids got brands.
They do.
Yes,
they are a brand all themselves. Like, really, they don't need sports. Like,
and they start building their brands from the time they put a cell phone in their hand. You talking 10, 11-year-olds with massive.
There's babies with pages, child. Right. I'm just like, damn, like, y'all started these kids early.
And massive followings.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You got to start early. I mean, if as a parent, if you're going to make
starting early,
as a parent, if you're going to make basketball important thing for your kid, then you might as well just go ahead and start branding them off rip, because you're going to need to do that in order for them to really get any real exposure, get where they're trying to go, and make any money. Because ultimately, that's what it's all about. I mean,
and that's a little scary. That's a little scary to do. So I understand the struggle for parents because you don't want your kid to feel like they working a job when you want them to still be in love.
Some parents do that anyway because they want them to they want them to go pro so that they can pay the bills. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So if that's the deal, put some work in, parents. Like make your kid the brand. Stop waiting for these coaches.
Be the brand manager.
Exactly. You stop waiting for these coaches to get these money for these players because they're getting fucked on the back end because you're not there to help them. You want it to be important to them so they can bring money home. But literally, like these women, they not getting no money to support their family. Like, how many of these women really like? Yo, you couldn't have told me somebody's average salary in the WNBA was $79K. Like, that's crazy.
It's insulting.
It's very insulting. Ain't no goddamn way. Like, I
don't care what sport you can play. You can be an elite badminton player. You need to be making more than that. Like, I agree. Like, it's
playing professionally,
yes. Professionally, yes.
So now I see why people go overseas. Country. Right.
Yeah, I see people go overseas. Like,
it's literally the money don't make enough sense. The money don't make enough sense.
The math,
you know what I'm saying?
The math ain't mathing. You know, it's funny, like, again, talking about trends and marketing, like, compare 2022, whatever year we in, I can't tell with the pansexual going on outside, but think about how many high school basketball clips we watch now as compared to even 5 years ago, like with Bronny James and all these Sierra Canyon. I didn't know what a Sierra Canyon was when I first heard of it, but like, think about how many high school basketball clips, like the branding is starting so much earlier now. Like, I can name high school basketball players outside of my city. That's unheard of. Like, I do feel like if not for the WNBA or playing overseas, these girls, and like you said, their parents definitely need to be taking advantage of that kind of attention. Like,
hey, listen, people hate this man, but the Ball brothers, their father, he was on to something.
Okay.
And I think if he had girls, it would have been no different.
Because that's just who he was.
Exactly. That's just who he is. And it's like, if you're going to put your kids in sports and you want them to go make that money, you need to be that type of parent, because otherwise.
And let's be honest. His sons have definitely grown, and we've watched their basketball IQ improve over the last few years, but they weren't that goddamn exceptional when he was pushing them.
They were trash.
I disagree entirely.
They had lots of potential, but they were not elite players.
Sorry, they were trash
at the levels they were at before the NBA.
Before the NBA, they were.
Period. Not debating that with nobody. You had a little boy who was cooking as a underage high school freshman. You had this linebacker averaging 30 points a game, and you had Lonzo looking like one of the best point guards you will ever see.
How was it shooting? How was it shooting?
Level, they were proficient.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not impressive.
Yeah, I wasn't.
It's giving me Ben Simmons. That's what it's giving me. It's giving me Ben Simmons. He's an all-star. By what standard?
Exactly. Who else was hitting numbers of their team though?
On their team? Nobody else.
Okay, there you go.
I feel like their dad boosted their stock by leaps and bounds.
He also hurt it. That's why
talking
about how bad they was when they got to the pros. Yes. That's why when they get to the pros.
Yes.
He gonna get there. Leave him alone.
Maybe.
I'll get there. I'll get for him. That's why he ain't get there yet. That's one of the reasons he ain't get there yet. But that's an entirely different conversation. But in terms of marketing, I get what y'all saying about him, and I can't argue that. Marketing, he was on top.
Yeah, he's
a genius. And then when his son got arrested overseas, he was able to get him out of there. So I don't know, maybe Paul. call him to help with this Britney situation? Because
see, then you got shit like that happens, right?
Right.
So what do you think they saying? See, this is why we don't even want to be bothered with this, because they go overseas, can't even act right.
Right.
Come on, don't act like the male players
that's
don't
not
do
the
no
narrative.
shit like that.
That's not the narrative going on, because she's the only person in this jam. It's not her and 3 teammates. It's her. And one of the reasons why you don't see the big old Free Britney campaign popping everywhere, people don't like Britney Griner.
Yeah, this ain't her first rodeo with that shit.
Okay, so I'm going to address that delicately.
I mean, I like her, but
I mean, she's been a villain. She has
been villainized. She's definitely been villainized.
No, she hasn't been villainized. She's been a villain.
She's been a villain. Okay. She's been villainized, but she's also been a villain. I'll say both.
I mean, she has her villain moments. I will say.
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean, Brittany Griner is a fuckboy, and I think this is a safe space to say that. Brittany Griner is a fuckboy. But guess what? Fuckboys deserve to be brought home, and fuckboys deserve to not have trumped up charges brought against them for CBD and for hemp oils or for things that don't even have psychoactive effects. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, she can be a fuckboy and still deserve better.
Yeah, she needs to be treated fairly on that. She done had her piece of shit moments, but that right there ain't like what they doing to her.
Dennis Rodman was an asshole, and lots of people didn't like him for a lot of reasons. But if it was him in this situation, he don't even like him today, right now. He don't even play ball anymore. Yeah. I feel like there will be a.
He is being loved. Yeah, that's the difference.
Yeah, but lesbians love Brittany Griner, maybe not for basketball, but for other reasons. Let me tell you, I have seen more tweets of "damn, she fine" when talking about her being arrested than I ever should have. Like, why are we talking about this? Straight women think that this 6'9" girl is attractive. I don't, but that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is
that's all. Yeah. Brittany Griner not cute on no female scale, if you ask me.
You can make any female cute
over her any day.
I mean, you can make any female cute with the right amount of makeup. But you're terrible.
Listen, I can say she's not my cup of tea, and she still deserves to be home, and she still deserves to have the advocacy behind her that we would find behind any other. If you take the best player from any other league of any other sport in the world and put them in Russia,
they're gonna go good.
Player, and this is a different situation. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. If this was Diana Taurasi, they'd be screaming "Free Diana" from the rooftop.
Right now, we sending SEAL Team 6 in there to go get her.
Facts.
Right now.
Major extraction plan going on right about now. Okay.
Listen, okay.
They blowing shit up. So yeah, it's crazy.
Making it happen. I just don't like how this
caught in a terrible situation. She got so much against her, and then they taking advantage of it to do it dirty like this.
Yeah, right. So I agree.
That's a messed up situation. But yeah, I gotta get back to the marketing thing, right? So here's something I want to address with you guys, because I'm not sure if you remember, but it's had its peaks and valleys as far as the WNBA is concerned, and I think that marketing has been tied to every peak and the lack thereof every valley. So you had these slogans. I don't know if y'all remember "We Got Next." I don't know if y'all remember that era.
That was like, yes. Yeah. They had commercials for it. I remember commercials.
Yeah.
Right. Then you had the era where these star elite women basketball players had a male counterpart.
Yes. I remember.
And that was played. It would literally show a video of this NBA player doing that.
Lisa Leslie was like best friends with Kobe Bryant. Yes, I remember that.
So it's like, yeah, well, why shouldn't you? Look, casual person who doesn't care about basketball. If you're watching that, women do it too. Hello.
Right. Look.
Now women do it too.
Right. Now you have nothing. Like, I think, and this is just me personally, I think that one of the biggest boats they missed out on was this particular player, right? Shoni Shon. She was literally bringing and one style handles like Stephon Marbury spin passes, all types of deep threes before it became a thing in the NBA. Yeah. Now she got hurt, so her career got cut short. But she ended up making an All-Star game her rookie year. And she put on the show. That is literally one of their highest watched All-Star games through the entire existence of the WNBA. The next highest is because Candace Parker was a big deal that year. You know what I'm saying? Marketing behind Candace Parker is awesome.
Yeah, but I do feel like she was also a big part of her own brand too.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
For sure. She's built, not bought. She's built, not bought when it comes to her brand.
Right.
Everything is from the bottom. But then again, it's literally been since she was in high school.
Yeah, exactly. Coming out of Naperville. Yeah.
Yep.
Feel me? So when she was playing in Tennessee and they won the championship, so it's like it's easy to connect the two. Like how I said, they're not following. For her, she made it easy to follow because she's doing the same thing over here. Then she ends up in the WNBA Rookie of the Year.
Right.
They about to win a chip.
Yeah.
She's right next to Lisa Leslie, the icon. That marketing in and of itself, you have the future of the WNBA versus the icon, one of the founding pillars of the WNBA. That marketing boosted. You have Maya Moore, who came through. A young female MJ, they called her, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think she was like the first person to get a Jordan deal. Like
brand as a woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, she was.
Yeah.
Yes. So you see what I'm saying? Like it's
Right.
ways it can be done. I don't know why you don't know who the best female ball handler in the WNBA is.
You should. You absolutely should. And I think
like even the people who watch can't tell me who that is.
I think, and this goes back to like my
the
original point.
Iverson or the Trey Young or the
right.
Or the, you know what I'm saying, whatever that equivalent is in the WNBA,
you should know it.
Be on post. Need to be on highlight reels. Y'all should be pumping her joint every chance you get. Fran Believe is not playing tons of minutes over there at Stanford University. But every single time this girl dunks, since she's been doing it in high school, it's a big deal around the world.
It's on Sports Center.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
That's what you're supposed to do. I remember Candace Parker, her dunk was a big deal. Lisa Leslie, her dunk was a big deal. Michelle Snow almost caught alley-oop in All-Star game. That was a big deal, and she missed.
I gotta say, I mean, she didn't execute, but it
looked good. Yeah, the approach was good.
Yeah,
it's kind of like how you said people started to seeing potential. Like, oh, so this can happen,
right? And that's why I feel like I'm starting to see stuff in high school games, high school girls games.
Yes.
So I know that's only a glimpse. That's a glimpse of what's happening in these games. We need to be highlighting that everywhere because it makes people go. They flip by a girls' game and make stop for a second and be like, I didn't know they were doing that over there.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that video that went around and everybody said, oh my God, this girl caught this crazy dunk. Whole time it was a boy.
Tell me that.
You remember that?
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
That video got shared a whole bunch. So this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. It's like, it's not just, oh, well, men don't give a damn. It's like,
go ahead, say it.
Women have to give men a reason to give a damn, and women have to give women a reason to give. Women need to give a damn just because, in my opinion. That's the other part that I was going to get to. Women, if for no other reason, need to support because if you don't, it won't just come.
I mean, but how many women are?
Because you have NBA players wearing WNBA women's, like how you said they coming in on it, and you notice the dress code.
Right.
Every year there's NBA players wearing a WNBA player's jersey.
That's true.
On the walk-in. Yeah. Every single year, and especially when their playoffs start. Not when the NBA playoffs start, when the WNBA playoffs start. These dudes are rocking whole ensembles. Somebody had on Candace Parker's jersey and her sneaks she got from Adidas. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like support doesn't exist. It's that honestly, in my opinion, women don't give a damn enough.
I feel like the support is not long lasting enough to make others give a damn enough.
Right.
And I mean, think about it. There are not a lot of women that are really into sports. So if I feel like, let me ask this question. Why do women watch sports most of the time?
Like the layman woman or like women who actually play sports? Like
the layman
I feel
women,
like
the regular women, the regular degular.
I mean,
why do the regular degular women watch sports?
Because they're watching it with their man, right?
Boom. So that is the only way. If men make it important, for women's sports, then I feel like it will be made important across the board. Because otherwise, most women don't give a damn. Let's be honest. Half the time, women don't like supporting other women any goddamn way.
Ooh.
I said it. I said it. Let's just
I didn't know it was going to be this type of podcast. I wasn't prepared. I didn't have notes for this.
Pray for my soul, but let's just be honest. I mean, because
you're not wrong.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not.
You're not wrong.
I don't want to be mean about it, but I am one of the most supportive people across the board. Now I can tell you, like, I got a young lady, I love watching her play. I've been watching her play since she was young and started. I literally could be like, oh, I'm only here to see her play. But nah, I'll be out there cheering for all of the girls on the team. I'll be watching all of the reels on their page. I'll be sharing. I'll be like, nah, look at this girl. This is who she is.
Because you're interested. You
Exactly.
understand it and you like it.
You
Right.
make me interested in Mackenzie.
Exactly. I got him interested in watching her.
Make me interested in Mackenzie because I rock with you. And the way you say that men do it for women, it's in reverse. You don't hear it every rap. Dudes do what women do. If dudes listen to certain songs because a woman likes it.
Yep. True.
That's true.
I mean,
Certain shows because they women watch it and they
I got you listening to Megan Thee Stallion, so I mean,
I cannot.
I'm dead serious. I was like, this is my alter ego now. Listen to this bitch. She be spitting.
No, yeah. Nah, you like Houston rappers. This is my girl right here. She's from your hometown. Tune in. All right.
They'll hit the like button.
Yes, no.
You like it.
All right.
I just
okay. All right. I mean,
double tapping.
I was in.
Here for it. I mean, but imagine like you look at how Megan has branded herself. Imagine like she does a brand deal or endorsement or a commercial for a WNBA game. Like you can't tell me that the three of us can come up with 15 ideas right now that may or may not work, but look a hell of a lot better than what I'm seeing right now in the league.
They just have to be investing in them. And I think that's the biggest problem. They don't want to put the time, energy, and effort into investing in them. Right. And it's really, unfortunately, I hate to say it, it's kind of going to become people like us, our job to hype these females that we know are phenomenal players and make others be like, oh, damn, Shawty Josh, she out there cooking over there. She shooting the lights out. Oh, she saw some niggas. I bet you she could go against LeBron. And it's like, if we're in the, the social media and the digital age where we can share those things. Think about it. Back in the day, flip phone, camera, video, shit was terrible. Nobody's watching that.
I can't even see who in this video.
Exactly. You like, I don't know. I can't even tell what.
Shannon Bobbitt, I'm sorry. Yes. You came in the wrong period, man. Shout out. Came out in the wrong period because you are one of the best ball handlers I've seen on this earth, male or female. I remember a couple years ago, some of her clips from Saw Some Dudes on the Court made its rounds.
Wearing their ass out.
She was a teen. Like, I don't know who's old enough to remember Hoops TV, but that was literally the first time I seen her in Hoops TV doing her thing. Then I don't know what's going on because I'm not in New York. Like you said, our capabilities, our internet capabilities ain't stretching that far.
Very different. Yeah. Very different.
So it's not until she's at Tennessee again that I can start cheering. But again, she's a different type of player at Tennessee.
Yeah.
And then her WNBA career was kind of like she had to be a different type of player there. She couldn't show all that she showed. Why?
That's exactly. Why?
Start allowing these girls to put on a show.
Let them ball out. Let them ball out.
All the way through.
Nope. They want them to play fundamentals. Because they want to put limits on them.
Handcuffing these girls when they get to college.
Right.
Yeah. I don't understand the limitations they put on these girls, handcuffing them and not letting them play. It's like, why do you want to watch? It's boring. I don't want to see.
It is.
The only person I've ever cared to watch them play ball from a fundamentals aspect was
Tim Duncan.
There you go.
Tim Duncan. That's it. Good ass old fashioned Uncle Basketball. That's what I want to say. Uncle Basketball. This nigga play Uncle Basketball.
Yeah, he do. And be talking low key
and we
shit.
Love
and
it.
I'm like, this nigga is interesting. But let anybody else play ball like that. You want fucking cut this shit off. I'm not watching this shit. Who is this person? So yeah, why y'all out here making females play fundamentals on the court?
No, let them hoop.
That's why.
Yeah, let them go.
Because one thing I do know about men as a person who played basketball, like if you're good, men will play with you. If you're good, men will like gas you up to other men. That's what they do. That's what they do. And you get on the court and they be like, she about to cook you, watch. Like men will, because it's not about your gender, it's about the entertainment aspect. It's about the competitive aspect. Yep. So if you're gonna let girls play, let them play. Another thing, real quick, I just want to say, like when it comes to branding and marketing, for a long time, like when we were kids, they worked really hard to keep like hip hop and basketball very, very separate. And now
that's not the case.
That's not the, and this, I feel like, back to the Megan Thee Stallion point, it's like we gotta find the ways that make things global in the WNBA. Like if you attach certain women rappers to these players, to these games, like Houston, like if they got a team, Meg need to be repping them. Whatever female rapper or woman rapper from your city, like you need to be putting them on. They need to be rapping over the commercials. We do need to bring campaigns back, and the women like need to be the face of these campaigns.
They did it for Memphis with come on, what's Yuck Mouth's name? God damn.
Yuck Mouth. Wait a minute. How we
Moneybag Yo. I can't understand shit he be saying if he ain't rapping. When he talking, I don't be know what the fuck he's talking about. When he rapping, I got him, but I don't know what he just. But literally, they did this.
He like a savant.
They did this whole commercial for sports for Memphis. And it was like everything Memphis was in that, a rapper, a basketball player, football, everything Memphis was on that fucking commercial. Why they can't do that for women?
Merged hip hop.
It's kind of what you're saying.
Besides Ja, who cared about Memphis basketball?
Nobody.
Not
a damn soul.
But again, hip hop, you got one solid player. Just one. It's not a super great team.
Yeah.
And boom, you branded that.
Yeah. Same effect.
I feel like stuff like that being done changes the game for, circling back to the topic at hand. Women not making the same amount of money, but getting more money because they deserve it. Period. I don't think that they're ever going to be paid to play like NBA players, but I feel like if the money can be made and bought in, they definitely deserve to get it. But the problem is, until we start pushing the agenda for their sport to be just as important as men's sports, that money is not going to happen for them. I would love to see it happen. I'm not against it, but it got, like what we say earlier, it got to make sense. The dollars got to make sense, and the math got to match. And right now, I think because they just don't care to make it make sense, the women are just suffering.
Because a man could hate women's basketball, but if he can profit off of it, he will put the money in.
There you go. There you go.
I wholeheartedly believe
there you go. And it's just like you said, if us three can sit here and devise a plan to make it happen, these people can do the same thing. And it's just like somebody has to make it important to them. And
but then why isn't it coming from the WNBA?
I think they scared. I think they're in the listen. We got what we got. We should be happy we got what we got, and we're not gonna push the agenda. I really feel like that's what it is. And some women, like you said, are paid more than others, and some are just barely getting a average salary. And it's like, come on, y'all. What the fuck is that about? Like,
I gotta go overseas. I gotta play this season. Stay conditioned. Can't even eat like I want to. Can't hit the McDonald's in the off season like Kevin Harden be doing.
Yeah,
I gotta go over here and keep balling to take care of my family.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In a smaller market. A smaller market.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. So.
All right. So they say we got 5 minutes to wrap, folks. So I think this was really good. I think this was really beneficial. I think we kicked around a lot of ideas that, maybe we should find a way to sell to these folks over there.
Who do I talk to? Link me to the WNBA and the NBA. I got some ideas. I can be a consultant.
Let's put a marketing plan.
But honestly, I think that's what it is. I think they need people who care to be involved in these conversations and be in these rooms. Whether it's the NBA or the WNBA, they need people who feel like personally they could benefit from making this happen. Because damn, what you said about them being cool, what they got, that's crazy shit. I ain't
Because
even
why
think
not
about
demand more? I mean, you saw how them
it. That's
soccer
what I'm
players,
saying.
they stood up on tables. Bitch, y'all
You're
gonna
right.
pay us. But they
Like,
felt
they
like they
demanded-
deserved it. They felt like we
They
put
demanded more
in.
maternity stuff
Exactly. I mean,
in the collective bargaining agreement, which is great, which
and
women
to
should
be
have.
honest, that shit
Right.
is important, just as important as money, because I mean, women are the only people I know that can
Yes.
pop babies out their pussy, so they need that
Yes.
break, and they need to be paid for that break.
I haven't heard of anyone else being able to do it. So
Yeah, you know, women are phenomenal. We do
I
shit
ain't even
that a lot
gonna
of
get
people
into
can't
that
do.
conversation.
Listen,
Not gonna get into that conversation.
talk to me when
But,
you can pop a baby
listen.
out. All right.
Listen, I'm gonna shut up.
points are being made.
I mean, I typically do make good points.
let's close out with our closing remarks, man. This was fun.
Yes, I enjoyed
Rita,
it.
you're the guest, so you are first.
Closing remarks. Free Brittany Griner. Bring homegirl home. Whether we love her or not, she deserves to be home. Free Brittany
Facts.
Griner. That's my closing remark.
Facts.
What's that?
Facts.
Oh, tell them where they can find you.
Yes.
Got a
Oh.
promo.
All right, boom. So, I am the co-host of the Problematic Podcast. So, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, the Problematic Pod. You can find me on Instagram at really_Rita6. Follow me. I follow back.
Oh, yeah.
Meesh.
Well, for this being our first show out the gate for the Life Be Life and podcast, I really enjoy having you on, Rita. Your energy was great. I enjoyed your commentary and your inputs on the topic, because this is definitely a touchy topic for women.
Thank you for
And
having
for
me.
some women, yeah, no problem. Thank you for coming on. And now I'm definitely looking forward to more of this. I'm just gonna enjoy it as it comes. So on IG is Just Being Mimi. Just that easy. JUSBNMEME. Follow me, and I might follow you back. I don't know. I don't do weirdos. So
Okay.
Man, once again, thank you both ladies for y'all energy, y'all wit, y'all insight. I mean, bringing a side to the table that I personally could not see. That's what makes these conversations work. That's what's going to make the world go around, and that's what's going to make things better for everybody involved. This is your favorite coach's favorite coach, Coach Nirie, Coach_Nirie on IG. Life Be Life, and we just put up the IG today. Okay, so that's Life Be Lifing with the G, not N. You feel me? Go ahead, follow. It's not allowed on the page yet, but we getting there. Like I said, we just have to start. But thank you all for everybody who joined, everybody listening. If you like it, share it. If you don't like it, tell us why. Hit the link tree. Show love to the Two Kings 215 podcast as well. And on behalf of Demisha and Rita, y'all be safe out there. Be respectful, be smart, and be good to yourselves. Good night, y'all.
Good night, y'all.